Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a different episode of Down on the Sidelines podcast. As you can see, I'm in my home on my lazy boy recording this right now, while Brendan is over in Stevens Point. So at the home sideline from Poygan, Wisconsin, it's Matt Crowley, aka your boy Matty Icy.
Dude, I'll be honest, we don't say the Poygan part
No,
that often
the
from the
Poygan
home. Like
from the home in
legit
Poygan.
at home. But here on the away sideline, Matt was just talking about it. Here in Stevens Point is your boy Brett Stackoff, aka 99 Brett's Brendan Retzloff here, and we welcome you guys to a special edition, episode 15 of Dots Podcast. It has
Season 2.
been so long, Matt, since we have done one of these.
What was it, week 15, I think it was?
I think it was going into week 15, so it was the
Yeah.
end of. Actually, it might have been week 14. It was week 14.
It was, but obviously we'll get into that. Obviously, this year hasn't been the best with uploading content due to the fact that it's a little harder. I'm not saying at Lakeland over this winter, so that really does pave a thing into when I'm available. Because when I was at Lakeland, I was available all the time, but now I'm not so much.
And our schedules too. I mean,
that's
just interfere with each other. We can't really find any time to be able to do all of this stuff. But it's nice that we're finally able to do it. Like, I know, Matt, the past few days, I keep asking, like, okay, are we doing the pod today? Are we doing the pod today?
Yeah,
and then the next day goes by. Are we doing the pod today? And you're just like, I got work to do. Like, I'm too busy right now. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And then, like, when I chipped my tooth, all that.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, what was that, 7th grade, I think, now?
Man, it's been like 8.5 or 9 years since that incident happened, which I just find that crazy that we do this podcast together. And then there's, like, that event that ended up happening, but it didn't really do anything, like, in terms of, like, ruining her friendship. Like, I know it was an accident. I mean, there's not really fault. It's not your fault. I don't think it's really anybody's fault.
Whoever shot that basketball was a horrible rebounder. We tripped over and we both smacked our heads.
Dude, I talked about this story so many times with my girlfriend's family and even with, like, the people that I work with. But I was talking about how, like, it was really no one's fault, but the fact that, like, we still have our podcast together and everything. But they were also like, did it hurt? And I was like, it actually didn't. The only thing that hurt was getting floor burn from the gym floor and getting, like, kind of ran over in the end of it. But, like,
yeah, because we literally face planted with our heads right next to each other. I remember, because I had to hit off the gym floor. It bounced up, and you're just screaming, and I just see 2 chipped teeth right in front of me. I'm like,
that's the only reason I screamed. Like, I noticed they were mine, but at the very first glimpse of it, I thought they were yours, because
I thought they were mine too. I was like, what just happened?
It's crazy how all that happened, but, like, I mean, going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's just been tough for us to really be able to schedule things, and it's a really great thing that we're able to do this together now. But hey, guys, talk about the setup that Matt has going on right now. He's saying that I don't give a flying crap.
After today's games, we're recording this right after.
It's almost 11. It's past 11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock. Holy crap! I thought, like, it just seemed like the Buffalo game went off. Did it really go on for that long?
It seemed like a lot of the football games today went by really fast.
They did.
That's me. You think the same thing too?
Oh yeah, the Packer game went by super fast. The Vikings game went by super fast.
Yeah, it did.
Like the first
And those are
quarter
the
was
only
like an actual 15-minute quarter, like 15.
those those are the only games that I watched too. Like the Vikings and Lions game, then the
Mm-hmm.
Packers and Bears, and then this last game, the last game of the regular season, and they just flew right by, man. Like, I guess now that we've talked about all of that though, like we gotta get right
Yeah,
into
we gotta
big
get into
business, right?
business. Yeah.
So that concludes the NFL regular season, folks. And man, 172 games down, and it was quite the year. I
It
mean,
was how many?
172 football games. The only reason I know that is because I was doing the math of our own thing for our records.
There's 172. Now, how come we're like?
Or 272. I'm going to say 272.
I was gonna
That's why. But it was quite the season. Lots of ups, lots of downs, many in betweens.
Lots
I
of.
would say, do you think there were more downs than ups?
Depending on what team you look at, yes.
Let me guess. Going to your Vikings, you would say many, many downs and
Many,
very
many,
unlucky.
many, many downs. There was a good up for a while, but we were at downs. But
And I would go ahead.
I don't know. I just feel like it's already January. It felt like just yesterday the NFL was back. Like quick as 18 weeks.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I don't know. It's
Just
look
thinking.
at the team.
True. And just thinking about that though, how you're saying, like, it just felt like it was the beginning of the season, like, not that long ago. Like, we're closer to being the age of 40 than we were born.
Don't remind me, dude. That's another 18 more years.
Yeah, but it's just like 22 is starting to feel like the new 40, I guess. But yeah, time is just absolutely flying right by. It's hard to believe that New Year's Eve was just this last week. So happy 2024, everybody.
Yeah, first episode 2024.
We didn't say that at all, but I mean, yeah, if you're looking at terms of the way officiating was done this year, I would rate that this
Low.
pretty freaking low. In terms of entertainment though, throughout this whole season, I would give it at least an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a really entertaining football season this year.
I think it was interesting to make it at least, I would think.
The only thing that I was really upset about was those Thursday night football games. Like almost all of them going up until like week 14.
A lot of them were actually not that bad. A lot of them were actually some pretty good games.
The Thursday night matchups, I thought all of them were just god awful.
Well, besides like week 1 was obviously
The opener.
the opener, which was
Chiefs and Lions.
Chiefs and Lions. And week 2 you had Minnesota and Philly, which was a 1-score game.
That was a good game. I'll give you that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I can't remember. Those were like the 2 games that really just stick out to me because those are probably the 2 I remember the most. Because one is to kick off the season, the other one's my team. So yeah.
But very fair. Yeah, I mean, just looking back at the season for me, it's like I can't believe I went to Kansas City to go to a Chiefs game. Like, to me, I can't believe that's already been more than 2 months ago. Like, or actually almost 3 months ago, thinking
Good
about
Lord.
it now. It's just wild how much time flies, and I guess this is just a good lesson for everybody that, like, just don't take things for granted in life. Because, like, there's so many moments that you can live in your life and just like live them to the fullest because things go by so fast. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt, do we want to get right into the business then, as we were about to?
Yeah, you can go right into it. We first thing,
The very first order of business that we have here. Who
oh,
joined us?
Tyler did. What's
Oh, no way. Tyrese.
Right.
Hi Tyrese, what you doing there, bud?
We just got the guy hopping on the Discord, I guess.
I just hear a notification just go off. I'm like, who the heck just joined?
I was worried that I like somehow like left the chat or something.
I-
Off this.
Yeah, and then I look into the Dots podcast. I was like, oh wait, there's another person here.
Tyrese, are you gonna say a word?
Yeah. Wait, let me go get my AirPods so I sound better.
You sound pretty good to me, actually. But I mean, you can if you want. So, okay.
Anyways,
I'm gonna get into the order of business. First one, go Pack Go, baby. Because
screw you.
the Green Bay Packers are in the playoffs, guys. They made it after a rocky start to the season. Then they ended up going on, I think it was like a 4-2 type of streak. It was such a roller coaster of a season for the Green Bay Packers, but they are playing, if not their best football in these last couple of weeks. You can say that, okay, they only scored 17 points in this game against the Bears. They won 17-9 against the Bears, by the way. And Joe Barry, he has been living with his job
You're welcome.
on the hot seat. Like,
You're welcome. As much as you guys want to
bad.
get rid of him, we just saved his job for you guys.
Hey, I will say this. Maybe Joe Barry just likes to perform when he's on the hot seat, you know? Because he never did any of those other times, but after
You've been on
Carolina,
the cold seat.
it was, okay, he's gotta be at his best. And that is most certainly what the Packers are doing. I don't know how they're doing it, but they are. Jordan Love is playing absolutely insane in his last 9 games. He only has 1 interception on the year. It's just insane. He had over 4,000 passing yards this year. I believe he took 3rd place out of quarterbacks with passing touchdowns.
I think, what do you have? 3 today or 2 today?
He only had 2.
So 32 or 31? 32.
32. Jordan Love had 32. I'll just pull up the stats. You know what? I'll just do that.
Yeah, pull up the stats.
If my computer decides to work for me. As I'm doing that though, Tyler or Matt, if you want to talk about something else, or I can just keep talking.
I'll talk about my Vikings since we're I'm talking about your Packers. Well, we had I think like it was less than 1% chance of getting in, and we did not get in. It was a very up and low season, up and down season for us. Honestly, when you start 1-4, and it was the tail of last year was like, oh, we were 11-0 one-score games, and then this year we were not. We were like a losing record in one-score games. But honestly, it does suck when you have to go through 4 different quarterbacks. That's never fun. We're not like the Browns where we make the playoffs and we just find Joe Flacco looking like his Super Bowl MVP self. Honestly, Kirk was a huge part. He was probably in pace and for an MVP conversation type of season. Just looking at stats, he was leading the league in passing at the time. He was second in pass rating with 103.1, which technically is like 4th today. Like if this season, since the season did end, he would have been finished 4th, but he's only played whatever week was against the Packers. Week 8, I think.
9?
Week 9 or week 10, somewhere around there. And then You had that unfortunate Darren Hall comes in, finish out the game. Then you trade for Josh Dobbs. Think it was a very bad trade, in my opinion. It turns out to be it was. He comes in, saving grace against Atlanta, wins, puts on a show against the Saints, and then he forgot that he was Josh Dobbs and kind of blew the next games for us. Lost against Denver 21-20, lose to the Bears by only field goals. And then just Raiders didn't do good at all. Quentin Mullins ended up winning that game 3-0, which has been our last win in the past 5 weeks, which is a 3-0.
Yeah, that one really hurts. That like the fact your offense was only able to muster.
Yeah.
Those 3 points in that game probably really shot down the confidence of the offense.
Yeah, and not only that, that was the first game that Jefferson was back. Jefferson was out for 7 games. He got injured at the end of the KC game, went on IR. Didn't come back until after the game against the Bears, the second game, after a bye week. Get injured immediately in the first quarter of the Raiders game, so we play without him again. It just been with injuries, like obviously now TJ Hawkinson has a torn ACL and MCL. And that, but I mean, you can't do much about it. Mostly just quarterbacks, Darren Hall, Nick Mullins. Mullins, gunslinger. I mean, he threw 2 picks at the end of the game, which was like in garbage time, I guess you could say. With less than 5 minutes left. But Darren Hall, I don't think he's going to be I don't want him. He's not good. Honestly, against Green Bay, he had more receptions to more completions to Packers than he did to Vikings in the first quarter of last week's game. And then Dobbs is just, he was good. There was a lot of hype train behind him. He was performing well. Thought it was like a steal of the century, but turns out it wasn't. But that's all on the offensive side. Defensive side, coming from Ed Donatello's defense of method of bend don't break type of defense. I don't care how many yards we give up as long as they don't score as many points as we do. Super stupid. Honestly, that came back and bite them in the dust at playoffs against the Giants. We pick up Brian Flores. Turns out it's a very attack blitz heavy. I think we blitz 52% of the times of defense. So like half the game we're blitzing, we're setting pressure. We're either, which reminds me a lot of Mike Zimmer, how he did it. He would disguise a lot of his blitzes. Because a lot of times, like, we would have 8 guys at the line of scrimmage, and then we drop 8 guys, and we have 3 rushing. Obviously, Danielle Hunter finishes a year of 16.5 sacks. I mean, you can't say nothing about that. Pro Bowl, and just heck of a year for him. Obviously, probably our defensive MVP. Cam Bynum,
100%. He's 100% the defensive MVP of that team.
Cameron Bynum, I mean, never played a snap at safety before. Played the cornerback, steps up, went under the radar until that 49ers game where he had 2 picks against Brock Purdy. He made a name for himself, and he's like one of the highest rated safeties. Harrison Smith is old. I mean, he's still Hitman Harry. He's still delivering big hits. I think this year really showed his age, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Josh Metellus, Swiss Army knife. He's played 12 positions this year. He's played so many positions. It's ridiculous.
That's so many. How
do
you
play
12 positions?
Yeah, all 11 on defense. And then I think he's played special teams.
That's so crazy.
He's a flex.
Yeah. But Ivan Pace Jr., I cannot say anything about this. Reminds me of a young Eric Kendricks, just undrafted free agent out of Cincinnati. He was first team All-American. He's I just like to see him play. He's grittiness and just love seeing him play. But I mean, yeah. Right now we have the 11th pick in the draft. Honestly, with that loss, which coming into today, I knew we probably weren't going to make the playoffs. I knew that we were going to get a very high draft pick. So thought we were going to get 10, but we ended up getting 11, which at this point I don't know what we need because I don't know if we're going to extend Kirk or we're going to draft a QB, which we need, or maybe even something else, a cornerback or offensive line, maybe even a running back. Which, talk about running backs real quick. Alexander Madison, exactly like A.J. Dillon. Amazing backup, can't do it against himself. Ty Chandler, Madison got injured, took the starting role from him. I think.
What is this guy doing here?
That just scared me. That was so creepy.
Yeah, Tyler just ended up joining for some reason.
Oh.
Why is everyone joining now?
I don't know. It's
But,
11:30.
I know. I want to get this going through, so I'll just sum up my views here real quick. So overall for the Vikings, sorry, like I said, Chandler. I'm just gonna finish up my thought. Chandler, really good running back. He's young. I really think that's the type of running back we need. That's our offense relies on, not a bruiser type. Anyways, Minnesota, I mean, started ugly. You had a great stretch. Got my hopes up. Then it all came crashing down like every other year. And then, yeah, so got the 11th pick in the draft. Hoping we either probably going to shoot for Michael Penix, maybe, if he doesn't get taken right away, or even someone else. Someone that we desperately need.
That's a very fair thing that you said, but in terms of like they started out rocky, your hopes went up, and then they like tumbling down. That is literally the story of the lives of almost every sports fan ever. Of a team that can't win a championship. They just did. But you shared a lot of information about this team. I can tell that, you're frustrated about how your team ended up playing this year. But in terms of, I mean, the injuries that go around in the league, it's just an inevitable thing. Like, there's just nothing people can really do about it. And Kirk Cousins, he was that MVP frontrunner, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he wasn't injured. I think he would have won the MVP award this year because there have not really been any other players who have really stood out this year in the league until probably Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill in around week 14 or 15. Like, that's when the MVP talk was.
Yeah, it really picked up. The MVP talk really just picked up where Brock Purdy was having a good game, but then it was all Lamar after the Ravens just demolished the Niners on Christmas. Brock Purdy threw 4 picks because he was the favorite. Like, I think he was like negative 200 or something. Throws 2
Brock
picks.
Purdy was the favorite. Yep.
Yeah, and then throws 4 picks, and then Lamar Jackson comes in and he's like negative 400. Okay. So Lamar has it locked up.
Can I interrupt and say, why the heck are both of you not wearing shirts?
I told you what I told you what I wanted. I don't know what he's doing down there.
I know you told me, but then what the heck is this guy doing down here? Anyways, like, Lamar Jackson's probably going to win the MVP now just because the Ravens, they officially do have the best record, and they do seem to be. Yeah. Excuse me. Everything going right for them. In terms of the offense and the defense, even special teams, you have one of the best kickers of all time, Justin Tucker with you as well. But I'm sorry for your team, dude, but at the same time, not really, you know. How about you, Tyrese? You sorry?
Yeah, that's kind of sucky year.
It happens. It's the life of a sports fan. Like, you just wait until the next year. Hopefully things get better for you. But for the draft pick, you said you guys wanted to get Michael Penix.
See, here's the thing. This is Kirk's last year. I don't think we're going to rock with Nick Mullins. I don't think we're going to rock with Jaren Hall. I don't think we're going to rock with Josh Dobbs.
Okay, I could definitely see Jared Hall, Josh Dobbs not being answers. So then what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins?
See, that all depends because we could just keep on extending him one more year. But with this high of a QB class that's just absolutely stacked, I think it would be foolish of us not to take a quarterback. Because, I don't know, you're coming off an injury, Achilles injury, which is not very fun. It's going to be hard to recover to get back to your old self. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do.
So I want to look at the NFL draft pick order for the first round of the first 10 picks to see like which teams are going to be going quarterback. So first, it's the Chicago Bears.
Like,
what are they going to do? What we will talk about what are the Bears going to do later. Which will be pretty soon on the show, actually. And it's the Washington Commanders. Sam Howell was their guy. Are they going to stick with him being a guy, or are they going to go quarterback? Then it's the New England Patriots. Very rugged.
They're probably going to take Drake May or Caleb Williams.
It's going to be interesting for them.
Or we might take J.J. McCarthy. That's a very high possibility.
Very fair. And then there's the Arizona Cardinals, who I would worry they would expect them to be.
They just said, I just saw something earlier today that they're going to revolve the team around Kyler. So Kyler's going to be their QB for a little while.
So they're not going to draft a quarterback. So we're possibly only two or three teams picking a quarterback right now.
Which the top two are Caleb Williams and Drake May. I would assume.
Yes. And then obviously the Chargers, they're keeping Justin Herbert. Like he's the guy that the franchise is revolving around. Then it's the Giants. What do you do if you're the Giants? Do you take a quarterback?
No, you can't take a quarterback. You gotta stick with Daniel Jones because you paid him 4 years, $160 million. You're not gonna waste all that money on him. You're gonna stick with Daniel Jones, and he has an injury, so next year.
And then at 7 and 8, it's the Titans and the Falcons. And then the Bears get the 9, and then the Jets are the 10. And the Jets, I'm going to assume they're not going to take a
No, Jets have
quarterback because they're relying on Rodgers for next year and hope he doesn't get hurt within the first 4 plays. So, and then it's your Vikings. So, it's pretty interesting to see how the NFL draft is really going to go in terms of quarterbacks being taken early on. But I'm going to revolve all the way back to, I was talking about Jordan Love before. I found his statistics. So Jordan Love this year threw for 4,159 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, with a 96.1 overall quarterback rating. And in his last 9 games, the Bears, the Vikings, the Panthers, the Buccaneers, the Giants, the Chiefs, the Lions.
He went what, like 20-1 or 18-1 touchdown to interception ratio?
In the last 9 games?
I think so. Or something like that. He was like
20-1 in the last 9 games, and he only had 1 game where he had a under 100 QBR.
Which is ridiculous. That's why they won so many of those games.
Insane. But to be fair, the Packers did have a fairly easy schedule to close out the season, but Jordan Love also did this in those really big games that the Packers really needed to win to be able to get themselves in that spot, including against the Bears today. He threw for 316 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, a 128.6 overall QBR. He did have that one fumble in the game, but it didn't end up haunting them. The Packers did have a couple of errors, but they're a young team. They're the youngest team in the NFL to ever make the postseason, and they're actually the youngest team in the NFL out of all the other 31 NFL teams or rosters that are out there. So to see how the Packers performed today, like I was nervous throughout this entire game until the 2-minute warning because Aaron Jones, he absolutely dominated the #1 rushing defense in the league. He had 109 rushing yards, 20 carries for him on the day, and it was just phenomenal to see Aaron Jones do that because I believe he's gone 6 games in a row now with over 100 rushing yards. 5 out of his last 6, he rushed for over 120. So Green Bay has things looking pretty nice.
I will say this right now, we are already half an hour in, so
we're a half hour in already.
Yeah, it's been 31 minutes.
Let's
just keep on going. Yeah, so we'll quick cover these 3 things right here. I guess 4.
Yeah.
So the first one is that the Cowboys win the NFC East. They lock up the 2 seed. That makes Philly the 5th seed. And Eagles are falling off. I mean, they're 1-5 in their last 6 games. I mean, they finished the season, 11-6?
I believe so.
11-6, which is different from last year. Like I've always said, when they played Minnesota, this is not the same Eagles team, and it's not. I mean, you can only do so much, but like this team is not going to make a deep run in the playoffs. They're going to get to the divisional round. I think that's where they're going to end. But yeah, Cowboys looking dangerous. And as of roughly about an hour ago, the Bills sealed the AFC East, from the Dolphins. So that was originally was supposed to be a scenario for the Bills where if they win, they take the 2 seed. If they lost, they wouldn't get into the playoffs. But coming down, that was possible. Coming down to Jacksonville chokes their season. And I was a huge Jacksonville rider this year. I'll say that. And it really hurts me to see that. I was an advent.
One of the biggest Duvallers out there, man.
I had such high hopes for this team. I was like, oh my God. And ever since that Christian Kirk injury, they just went right down the hole and they lost to the Titans, which is huge because that made the Bills clinch a playoff spot. It didn't matter if they win or lose. And now they host 2 home games in the playoffs now, which is huge because Apple Orchard is not an easy place to
play. And it's actually really crazy to think that the Bills going into today could have possibly not made the playoffs, and now they're the 2 seed in the AFC. It's just a crazy turn of events, but I mean, you said it. Jacksonville absolutely choked their season away this year. 8-3 they were at one point. I believe that was after week 12. And then all of a sudden, ever since I think it was the overtime loss to the Bengals, they just couldn't win a football game.
Mm-hmm.
Except for their game against the Panthers, which was that
very close. I think it was. I think that game was close.
But you can also say like that in that Bengals game, Trevor Lawrence got injured, and things just didn't really look the same for that Jacksonville team ever since that point. But it's really unfortunate to see this team go down, and especially for you, like you were riding these guys so hard on getting into the playoffs, but I think I also had the prediction that Coach Peterson was going to end up winning Coach of the Year because it
Yeah.
was his second year on the team, just like he did it with the Eagles in his second year, where they won the Super Bowl.
I think Kevin Stefanski's going to win Coach of the Year.
It'll be really interesting to see who the Coach of the Year is going to be. I haven't really thought about that award. We'll probably have an episode in the future where we talk about who we think will win awards before the NFL Honors Show comes up. But you also talked about Dallas looking really good. Dallas does look really good. They secured themselves as the 2 seed overall in the NFC, and the Eagles though. What? Been. Like, you can almost hit them with the James Jaws right there. The Philadelphia Eagles, what the heck happened? How are you managing to screw up a season so bad being a Super Bowl runner-up last year? It's almost... It's one of the saddest things that I've seen in Philadelphia since Rocky IV. I mean... It's just not... It's not going well for them at all. And, I mean... Love it when I see them lose. Also, I love it when I see the Cowboys lose. I love it when I see the Chiefs lose. But oh my gosh, man, this is like... They are that train that just can't hit the brakes and stop, and they're about to crash into the biggest building ever and just lose it. What the heck are you doing?
Tyrese.
What?
You can't be serious right now. But then the last game to break down though was the most recent one with the Bills and the Dolphins. I watched most of this game. Josh Allen got so lucky on some of his passes, and he also got unlucky on some of his passes.
Oh, yeah, that touchdown catch was amazing.
For those people who say that Josh Allen should be in the MVP conversation right now, no,
I don't think so.
No, he shouldn't. He after almost every single game in post-game interviews, he always says it's an ugly game. There's a reason he says it's an ugly game, because he didn't play good. He hasn't played well basically this entire season. He threw 2 interceptions tonight. I don't know why people are still having this conversation. I think the only reason is because of his passing yards. He threw for 350.
Dude, we're talking about MVP. Receivers can't win MVP.
Dang it.
You can't be serious about CeeDee Lamb either. He had a good year, but no.
Anyways, we should talk about the playoff picture. Because that's all settled now.
Let's get into that. Let's start off with the NFC here.
Yeah, so actually, let's just go through the NFC. So
I'll talk about the NFC, and you can talk about the AFC. How about
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So starting off with the NFC, at the 1 seed, who have their bye week, are the San Francisco 49ers. They already clinched this like a couple of weeks ago already. So, I mean, they have that spot locked up. In the 2 seed is the Dallas Cowboys. I already referred to the Cowboys, but I believe they went 12-5 this season. Cowboys played an outstanding year. Dak Prescott starting to really develop, play really well. CeeDee Lamb, we referred to him. He's not an MVP kind of guy, though. In the 3 seed, we got the Detroit Lions. I believe they're sitting at 12-5.
They're 12-5, yeah.
12-5 are the Lions this year. I mean, Matt talked about the injuries getting to them, and they really are. So it's a little concerning to see this team in the 3 seed at that spot, because there's a lot of 3-6 upsets that happen in wildcard games.
I think this is going to be one.
Okay, and we'll talk about those matchups pretty shortly. In that, the 4 seed is the champions, of the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, not much to feel that proud of, honestly, for them. Like, they were able to get in, but I guess if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, you kept hearing people tell you you're going to go like 2-15 on the season. So
Baker Mayfield proved everyone wrong.
It's a good thing, and I'm happy for Baker Mayfield. I think
same here.
he's a very deserving guy for possibly comeback player of the year. Maybe. But at the 5 seed, first wild card spot locked up by the Philadelphia Eagles after they choked away the NFC East to the Dallas Cowboys. This team is falling apart. I don't know if they should even be in the playoffs. That's my opinion. And at the 6th seed is the LA Rams. I think that this team is very slept on. Matt, it seems like you're thinking the exact same thing as I am.
Yeah. Can we talk about Puka real quick? Because
I was going to say, yeah.
Not only did he break the receiving yards record by rookie, he's also receptions as well, which is different because everyone besides Justin Jefferson, I think Cooper Kupp as well, had 17 games, and everyone else did that in 16 games. So I think so that one game is huge because that's more yards you can rack up. That's like 150 at some point yards that you can rack up in 10 receptions.
Yes. And I think it's a really great thing that you brought him up. And I mean, just overall, the entire receiving core of the LA Rams, it's insane, actually. And now Matthew Stafford in there at quarterback, which he's already won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl a couple years ago and going to Detroit. But Puka Nacua hit 105 receptions this year, Matt. 1,486 yards total for him. And he had 6 touchdowns on the year. Surprisingly, he only had 6. But, I mean, just thinking about it, he had almost 1,500 yards receiving as a rookie. Like, it's such a slept-on dude. Probably going to win rookie. Offensive rookie of the year. Or it's going to be C.J. Stroud.
I think it's going to be C.J. Stroud, but I think a lot of that, his success came from the fact that Cooper Kupp was injured.
You can say that, though, but in Cooper Kupp's return, Puka Nacua still ended up, performing really well. I believe Cooper Kupp returned week 15?
Something like that. He was out for like 8 weeks or something.
Week 14, I think? Well, I'll just start with December for Puka. So, he had 105 receiving yards against the Browns, then 84 against the Ravens, 50 against the Commanders, 164 against the Saints, 118 this past week against the Giants, and then only 41, but he had that touchdown as well, 3 touchdowns in that span for him. So, I don't know, actually. I think Puka Nacua has really earned himself that spot as that number 2 wide receiver for the LA Rams. But they're in at the 6th seed. I'm going to move on to the last team that got in the wild card. It's the 7th seed, the Green Bay Packers. We've already mentioned things about them. Things are really going well for them right now. The only thing that could be a concern to them is that they play a really high-scoring offense next week in the Cowboys, which we'll go over the matchup soon. But another thing, too, is the injuries. Can these guys really prevail with these injuries? Get A.J. Dillon back, get guys like Romeo Doubs back, also get Christian Watson back out there because, like I said, Packers, they're the youngest team we have ever seen in NFL history, only averaging 25 and a quarter years old, which is just beyond ridiculous. And people said this was the rebuilding year for Green Bay, but it seems like they're starting to put those chips in on the table and maybe put a little bit of Aaron Rodgers here on the table. But that's what the picture is looking like in the NFC. Take it to the AFC, Matt.
Alright, so for the AFC with the number 1 seed locked up, probably the best team in the league is the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, probably have MVP locked up for Lamar. I mean, they dropped 56 on Miami last week, and their highest franchise record is 59, which was 2 years ago against Miami. So, yeah. And then coming at the number 2 seed, we have the Buffalo Bills. Like, this game was such a huge thing for them because it depended from being on the road the whole time to possibly hosting every single game in the playoffs. And
Did they jump to the second seed?
Yeah, so they were 11th, I think they were. They're like the 11th seed, and then they jumped to the 2 seed.
They were in the hunt today.
Yeah, because Jacksonville was in, Houston was in, Indy got eliminated, and then Cleveland had locked.
Dang. That jumped them all the way up. Jeez.
Yeah, because they were only 1 game behind Miami, but they had beaten Miami earlier, so if they won tonight, they would hold a tiebreaker over Miami.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't
yeah,
like the other side was more spread out.
Yeah, but this was like a super up and down year for them. I think their Super Bowl window has been gone for maybe a year now, but they're still the 2 seed. They're playing their best football. Tonight's game was kind of really ugly for them, but
And they got an okay tight end too.
Dalton Kincaid, I think, is a really good tight end. Going on to,
Yeah.
and they also have Dawson Knox. 3 seed, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, it's the Chiefs. You're going to get playoff Mahomes and Kelsey, so expect them to be a good duo. Who they're playing, though, they're playing the Dolphins, which should be an interesting game. But it's the Chiefs. What else can I say? You got to expect the best from Mahomes and Andy Reid. And they take I don't know. Maybe the Chiefs, this is the year they'd be 1 and done. Also, I should clarify, Ravens are in the north, Bills are in the east, Chiefs are in the west, and locking in the AFC South is the Houston Texans, led by C.J. Stroud, first rookie to do it, with a first rookie head coach since 2012, Andrew Luck and Chuck Pagano, I do believe. I mean, if you did not see that game last night against the Colts and Texans, heck of a game. First play from scrimmage for Texans was a 75-yard touchdown to Nico Collins. I mean, Texans, I think they could get to the divisional round and then they just stop right there. But who they're playing is going to be super tough, and they're playing the 5-seed Browns. And we all know how the Browns are. They're super red hot. I think this is a team that no one wants to play in the playoffs because they're just red hot right now. Because I don't think
you have to give so much credit to D'Amico Ryans though for the job
for
that
sure.
he's doing with this team. But dude, the fact that 2 teams that used to be so garbage are playing each other in the playoffs this coming week, it's just the most insane matchup to think about. Who would have ever thought that the Texans were going to be playing this next team you're talking about? Go ahead.
Yeah, the Browns. I mean, whoever thought Texan-Browns playoff game was going to be a thing? But yeah, the Browns are playing their best football. They're the other team that went through 4 quarterbacks, but they actually had success with it. They found a lazy hidden gem, Joe Flacco, who was on the couch this start of the season. Tryouts, and now he's slinging the ball like he was back in 2012, where he's throwing to Jacoby Jones and Mike Wallace. I don't know if Mike Wallace was even on that Super Bowl team. But I remember Jacoby Jones. Was he?
Jacoby was for sure. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know Mike Wallace was.
I think Mike Wallace might have. I'll look it up for you.
It was either him. He was either on the Steelers then, or he was on the Ravens. It was one of those two. But yeah, I mean, and Ray Rice, I think, was their running back as well. But yeah, I mean the Browns. I think this is a team to be scared of. Besides the Ravens, this is a team to be scared of in the AFC. Then going on to the 6th is our Miami Dolphins, which they could have the 2 seed locked up, but they dropped to the 6th, and they're going to be playing the Kansas City Chiefs. And we all know how the Dolphins are against winning records. Teams against winning records, it's not very high. But hopefully they sustain some pretty bad injury. I mean, you lost Bradley Chubb last week in garbage time against the Ravens. You lose, I think, Van Ginkel, I think his name is, number 43. I mean, Jalen Waddle wasn't playing tonight, and then Tyreek kind of got banged up in that last series. So, Dolphins I'm a little bit scared of, even though they have a super high-powered offense. I don't think they're really going to survive. They'll have a chance at Arrowhead, but it's not going to be very high. And then the last team to get, I think, was a team that we never really thought would get in because how poorly they played all season. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, TJ Watt is going to be out for the playoffs, so that's never good. So that's not good. So obviously that's going to be a huge, huge loss for the Steelers. I mean, at this point, do you go back to Trubisky or do you stick with Rudolph? Rudolph has won you 2 straight games. And I think you just stick with Rudolph. I mean, George Pickens kind of went off this past couple of 3 weeks. Started with that Bengals game. But yeah, that's the AFC. So I'm going to show you.
I got an answer for you on Mike Wallace.
I don't think he was he?
He has not won a Super Bowl, so that means he was not a part of that team. And his name's not even Mike Wallace either. Like, Mike is his middle name.
What? Okay.
Take a guess what his first name is.
Jadarius Mike Wallace. I don't know.
It starts with a B.
Bryce.
This is such a random name.
Byron?
B. Shiesty.
Oh my god. Burnell Mike Wallace. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna quick give you a rundown of who plays. So on Saturday, you can start.
We should get like a bracket picture or something in one of our shots.
Yeah, we can. But if you can edit that in, you can edit it in.
Maybe.
So Saturday, kicking off at 4:30 p.m. Eastern at NBC, you have the Cleveland Browns going to the Houston Texans for wild card. And then I want your opinion on this. And then the Saturday night game at 8:15 p.m. Eastern is the Dolphins at the Chiefs, but it's exclusively. I can't say words. It's exclusively on Peacock, which the last game that was exclusively on Peacock, a lot of people were super upset because they couldn't watch the game. I mean, how do you feel about it?
Game, dude. This is a playoff game. Why are they having a playoff game on Peacock? People like to buy this crap. Like, no. America does not want this. Like, why would... Oh my gosh. Why would the NFL try to make money even though they're already getting so much revenue with themselves? This is where I kind of get annoyed with the NFL as a whole. Like, you're making people pay, I'm going to guess, $5 a month to freaking watch a football game. Like, it's ridiculous. People can watch their games on cable if they want to. Or, guys, actually, I bet you could go to Buffalo Wild Wings on that Saturday and watch the football game.
Probably.
So you could just spend money on your wings or your burger or your beer or
if it's on your local channel.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's not on any local channels. It's exclusively on Peacock. It's on a streaming service.
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard about, just because the fact that this is a playoff game that actually has so many implications to it. It's gonna be a good game too.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs and the Dolphins, like at the beginning of the season too, were like, okay, this is going to be like the game of the year or something like that. But now people have to pay money to watch this piece of crap? Are you kidding me? NFL, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Baseball's
and
money.
I just want to watch football.
it's an entertainment district, really.
There's only 13 games left. Like,
Yeah, so this
come on,
is
just give us
the
three.
last of the Saturday games. There's 2 on Saturday, then the 3 on Sunday, which starting off at 1 p.m. Eastern, you got the Bills taking on the Steelers at Buffalo, and then you jump to 4:30 p.m. Eastern, where the Green Bay Packers are going to be taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, who has scored, I think, 40 points every single game that they've played at home, which is just ridiculous. And then Sunday Night Football at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, you have the Rams taking on the Lions. You kind of figure that out because it's Stafford versus Goff, so you're going to have that as the primetime game. And then Monday Night Football, 8 p.m. Eastern, you got the Eagles at the Buccaneers. So, really, it's, oh gosh, my internet's slow. So it's going to come down to, I would say, home field advantage in the playoffs is huge. So that's the playoff picture as of right now, as of 1/8/24 at 12:08 in the morning.
Do you want to ask us anything, or are we just going to move on to...
I mean, I just want to move on, really.
Yeah, there isn't really much to talk about in the playoff picture, especially if we...
There's only
go over our
14
matchups.
teams left. There's only 14 teams, and after this, there's going to be
9? No, not 9.
12?
Actually, is it 9?
No, there's going to be 4 games, so 8.
Is it 9?
There's going to be 8 because there's 2 games each. There's 2 divisional games.
True. I don't know why I said an odd number. Let's pretend like I never said that.
Anyway,
Seems like we forgot about it. All right. Moving on.
top
to
10.
our next part.
Just
We are top 10.
just go right through it because I think both of us are starting to get tired.
All right. We'll just clear the house here and
Just reveal everything.
Alrighty.
All right.
Okay, so I'll start off with my list. My number 1, it's pretty clear. You gotta have the Baltimore Ravens in there. They're just the best team. I don't have to say anything about it. Coming in at number 2, though, I have the Buffalo Bills. Like, you could be... Okay, some people are going to be thinking, Brendan, you're crazy. Like, you got these guys at number 2. But Buffalo's won, like, their last 5 games in a row, something like that, ever since the Kadarius Toney was offsides incident. So, the Bills are looking really, really good. I mean, Josh Allen, he says, though, that he's had ugly games, a lot of ugly wins. They're winning ugly games against teams that are in playoff contention or who actually are contenders of a Super Bowl right now. So just imagine how this team would play when they are really on the money. Only concern, I know Gabe Davis ended up getting injured in this last game, so hopefully he can heal up in time. I'm not sure what the injury was, but I got a lot of confidence in their offense and defense. I know they had a few injuries on defense as well, but they got it done against Tua and the Dolphins in Miami. So I have a lot of faith and confidence in them that they can end up beating the Steelers in their landslide. Up next at number 3, I have 49ers. I think just behind the Bills. They're the best team in the NFC. They have that bye week. Only concern is that they have that bye week, and they didn't really play any of their starters in this week's game. So they're going 2 straight weeks without playing any of their guys, and there have been times before where we have seen teams do this, and it backfires. One of them being the Packers from a couple years ago. Anyways, coming in at number 4, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Matt, you said they score about 40 points a game at home. I believe that's about correct.
It's roughly around there. I know it's above 30 for sure.
Yeah, I think it's between 35 and 40, actually. But yeah, the Cowboys, they look fantastic. Dak Prescott seems like he's playing the best football that he's played in his career. The only concern I have is the running game. Tony Pollard hasn't really done too much with the team this year. I'm hoping that he can step up, but being a Packers fan, I also don't want that to happen. But I also want to watch a really good football game. But I think the Cowboys really deserve their spot. Their defense, Michael Parsons, he had an outstanding year. You can talk about their corners, you can talk about their other linebackers. They're just playing a heck of a season, and they deserve to be in that 4th spot, and they get respect. Number 5, I placed the Lions. They're dealing with lots of injuries right now, but Detroit has, I think they have that belief factor in them. Like, this team, I don't want to say they came out of nowhere, but like, we kind of knew that this team was going to be good, but not this good. You know, I think that Dan Campbell has done a really great job with his guys. I think Aiden Hutchinson is really developing into one of those star players on defense. I mean, he doesn't get talked about that much with this team. A lot of it's mainly talking about the offense on the team. Jared Goff, he's been playing really well this year. He looked all right in today's game against the Vikings. There were some plays though, like where the heck was the Vikings defense in that game when I was watching? Same thing with the
live zone, so you just gotta find the open zone.
But Amon-Ra, I think he's gonna play really well. I'm just curious to see how this team's gonna play in the playoffs, considering that none of these guys really have any experience except for Jared Goff, it seems like. In at number 6, I got the Dolphins. That loss to the Bills, they could have had that game. They just made too many mistakes out on defense, and especially on the special teams, giving up that 95-yard punt return for the touchdown. But I think that Tyreek Hill just needs to heal up a little more. He's been dealing with ankle issues the last like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Tua Tagovailoa, he's been playing pretty consistently. He does miss on a lot of short passes though, and he's starting to have that type of gunslinger mentality like Josh Allen does, but he doesn't throw as many interceptions. No, he had that interception to end the game, and it just sucks to see that the Dolphins can't win these games against teams that are above 500. So that gives me my concern for them when they go into Arrowhead to play Kansas City on Saturday. And at number 7, I have the Browns. I could almost put this team higher. They have the best defense in the National Football League.
Yeah, that's the same thing with my Browns as well.
Hands down, best defense in the National Football League for the Cleveland Browns. I think the game against the Texans they're going to have on Saturday is going to be maybe the best game of the week. Like, seriously.
You said the Browns best defense?
We have one of the best defenses.
Yeah, the Browns, I would say they have the best defense in the league.
Okay, who'd you think second? I just want to pick your brain real quick.
Who do I think is in second for best defense?
Yeah.
I would say the 49ers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens are pretty good, but also special teams.
Was the special teams?
No, I'm just saying Ravens are good in special teams too.
Oh, yeah. The Ravens do have really good special teams. I think it's is it Justice Hill? Is that his name? Like, he's been absolutely tearing it up. But anyways, the Browns, I think they could be higher on this list, for real. I haven't seen enough of Joe Flacco playing. I haven't seen enough of this team really playing. I know David Njoku's been going insane. I know Maury Cooper's been going insane. Miles Garrett on the defense, such a leader for this team. And, I mean, they're just so impressive. It's the fact that the Browns are even on this list is so crazy to me, but they deserve it. Number 8 is the Texans. See how I have them back to back? I think it's going to be a great game. CJ Stroud, probably the number 1 for offensive rookie of the year. He could actually be the MVP conversation, in my opinion. He got them to the playoffs. From the number 2 overall draft pick to being number 8 on this list, and also being number 4 seed in the playoffs. Like, that's ridiculous. Who else has done that, right? I don't know if there's anybody else from my memory who's ever done something like that before. So this team's really special. I had the prediction in week 14 that the Texans were going to be a Super Bowl team against the 49ers. Guessing that probably won't happen, but that's my bold prediction that I had. I'm going to stick with that bold prediction because it's possible. But the Texans, they deserve it. D'Amico Ryans is the coach of this team. I mean, he's done a fantastic job. I think he should personally be the coach of the year. Matt, I know it's Kevin Stefanski, but I got to give it to D'Amico. And at number 9, though, I have the Packers. Winning the last 2 games in crucial scenarios for them, they had to win and get them done. They did get them done. Jordan Love, he's playing MVP level quarterback performances over this past 10 or 9 games of the year. I think the Packers are very deserving to be in this top 10 because I think there are some other teams who are in the playoffs that just weren't as good as Green Bay is. The only concern I have is how young they are. How are they going to handle being in that playoff experience and handle that pressure when they go into Dallas, where the Packers have won all their games at AT&T Stadium that they've ever played, by the way. So let's see if the Packers can keep up that streak. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but I think that game between the Packers and Cowboys is going to be really interesting. Packers defense also been playing really well. Deontay Wyatt played really well against the Bears today. It was also Kenny Clark playing really well. Go also to Jair Alexander coming off of that suspension, really locking down on defense. But Justin Fields, I don't know if he's really that guy for Chicago in terms of passing the ball, because I mean DJ Moore is such a fantastic player. The Bears could have used him better, let's be real. The Packers, though, another concern too is, I mean, their special teams. Their kicker, Anders Carlson, he gives me the heebie-jeebies every time he goes to kick the ball.
Welcome to being a Vikings fan.
I knew you were gonna say that. He scares me every single time. I mean, if the Packers score touchdowns, I just want them to go for 2, but hopefully their guys can get healthy. I think getting Romeo Doubs back, getting A.J. Dillon back, if we can get Christian Watson back, the Packers could really be a threat to the Cowboys, and I almost see them as being that offense that could really force that threat, considering Jordan Love is playing his best ball ever. Number 10, though, I have the Chiefs. I don't have Eagles on this list. The reason I'm the Chiefs down as low as they are, I haven't seen them play a single game well this year. I seriously have not. They've walked out in a few of their games this year. You could say that about some of the other teams that they've worked out in games, but not as much as Kansas City. I think Patrick Mahomes is super overrated this year. Travis Kelce had his first ever season under 1,000 receiving yards. People are calling it
16
the
yards
Taylor
short.
Swift curse. But like Patrick Mahomes, I haven't seen him play a single game well in the last few weeks, and that I keep picking teams to win against the Chiefs because I don't think the Chiefs deserve any kind of right to be my pick to win a game. Like,
Yeah, don't blame you.
the game they've had on Christmas against the Raiders, against Aiden O'Connell, they played like
Mind
that.
you, did not throw a single completion after the first quarter.
And they lost that team. Like, how? How are you used to a team like that, you know? So I have to have the Chiefs as low as they are. I don't think they're a deserving team of the 3 seed, but the AFC West kind of decided to crap the bed this year as they were trying to make things interesting, and then it just didn't. But that's my top 10.
All right. Going into mine, I'm just going to quick run through mine because we basically have the same. One, I got the Ravens, best team in the league, self-explanatory. At 2, I got the 49ers, which is, I think it's safe to say that, like, the 2-1 seeds up there. At 3, I got the Bills. I felt like if they would have won by more than 7 points tonight, they would be at that 2 spot. But since they kind of played like a really iffy game, that's why they're at 3. At 4, I have the Cowboys as well. Our 4 and 5 are the same, Cowboys and Lions. I mean, basically what they said, Cowboys, even though they had to win the division today, they played all their starters, annihilated Washington, looked flawless, they looked good, CD Lamb's looking good. Dak Prescott, I think, threw for like 4 touchdowns, I think. Lions, injuries are, I think, going to catch up to them. Yeah, Monroe was banged up. Sam Laporta, I think, is going to be out. So that's going to be rough. At 6, I have the Rams. I mean, say what you want. Like, they won today. They won with Carson Wentz at quarterback. But I think this is going to be the game. There's a reason why I have the Lions and Rams right next to each other because I feel like that's going to be a super good game. 7, I got the Texans. I mean, DeMarco Robb. What's his name? I'm having a brain fart.
The coach?
Yeah.
D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico Ryans, thank you, not DeMarco. D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud, I mean, putting up numbers which you wouldn't really think. But, like, I feel like these top 7 teams in my 9 can all be intertwinable, can all be, besides of 1 and 2, I feel like 4 through 9 can really be intertwinable depending on how you look at it. But then...
For sure. Yeah.
Then at 8, I have the Chiefs. I know they won today against... I know they haven't been playing, but I can't count out Mahomes and Kelce because it's playoffs. You're going to know that Mahomes is going to do everything to win, and it's going to be Mahomes magic all over again. At 9, along with what you said about this team, the Browns, I think they should definitely be higher. I mean, but I don't know. Like, I like the Browns. I think 9 is honestly too low, but I just don't know if they would fit up higher. Like, I would want to put them higher, but I look at my list, I'm like, no. I mean, they play the 7th, my 7th, next Saturday. And then at 10, I have the Eagles, the downfall of the Eagles. I mean, they played the Bucs, so it should be hopefully an easy game for them, but probably won't be.
I don't think that game's going to be easy for them at all.
No.
I don't think things are going to go well for Philadelphia. It's going to be cry the rest of the way. But those are our top 10s. First of all, what do you think of my list?
Joking.
As he is dying.
Your list, I mean, I respect it. The only thing I have to say about the Packers is that they're such a young team that I don't know how they're going to play the playoffs. I feel like oh my gosh, it's the playoffs. It's the playoffs. That it's going to be different.
I can definitely see you. I can definitely see
Do you see my argument I'm trying to make? Is that they're such a young team that they have no playoff experience compared to the Cowboys, where you have Dak and like almost everyone on the team who has had playoff experience. I also want to say that the NFL is scripted because they literally have Stafford against Goff and McCarthy against the Packers. You can't tell me that's not scripted.
It is pretty fun that it's like that. I did mention that the Packers' age was something that could possibly hold them back and their experience.
They're like, young. They're super young. Like 21, I think he said 21.1, not 21, 25.1 years old.
25 and a quarter.
Yeah, 25 and a quarter, which is super young. Compared to the Dallas team where Dak has been drafted 6 years ago. No, 8 years ago.
I would just say this though, the Packers, they are going to be playing with that underdog mentality. Like they didn't think they'd get this far this year. So like there's literally nothing for them to hang their heads down about, which for me as a Packer fan, I've got nothing to hang my head down about because
it's a win-win season for you.
To the playoffs. Like I'm happy they got this far. I think that's what they think of themselves too. But if they did win against the Cowboys, I feel like they would lose that mentality right away and be like, yo, we might be legit contenders here.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be San Francisco after that, and yeah, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah. But
because of the Packers win, they have to play San Francisco in Santa Clara.
That's not going to be a fun thing.
But I mean, with your list too, I respect your list a ton. Like having the 49ers above the Bills there, like I totally could have flipped mine onto pretty much every team on here, man.
Like our top 5 is basically the same. It's just our 6 through 10 are completely different.
I feel like it's pretty easy to have it be like that, though. I legit think that this year, this is like the best year that every single team has a shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
But it's going to be a little hard for the Steelers. But I think if
everyone but the Steelers.
I think the Steelers can make it past the first round.
Yeah, there's no way the Steelers are getting by. There's just the Steelers are definitely the lone team out of this for sure. I think every other team though has a legit shot of going to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that as like a joke. Based on how this year has gone and how these teams have performed before, especially like teams like the Ravens, like when Lamar plays in the playoffs, it's not good. So like, there's that, but you have to give the upper hand to Baltimore because they are clearly playing their best right now. They dominated San Francisco on Christmas.
Yeah,
I like every single team know they have a shot, and I can't wait for Wildcard Weekend.
Wildcard Weekend, WW.
It's gonna be so good. 13 more games left of football, guys. 13.
You might just have to do a free trial of Peacock.
Screw that crap. Can you do that?
I'm using Stream East.
I might go to B-Dubs.
If you're down, we can go to B-Dubs. Wait, next Sunday? Or Saturday?
Isn't the game on Saturday?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be in Sheboygan.
No!
I got practice.
You gotta be kidding.
I got practice from 6 to 8.
We're talking practice, man. Practice. Such a good quote. That's Ted Lasso, for you folks that don't know.
Anyways, speaking about games, I think it's about that time where we make our game predictions.
Yes, it is. And before we make those predictions, let's go over our total record in the regular season because holy crap, we missed a lot. We missed so much. We missed 4 or 5 weeks of content where in those weeks I dominated. It was just
Yeah, you were
It was
almost
all
double
me.
digits.
starting with week 15, I went 13-3. Matt, you went 11-5. Week 16, I went 11-5. Matt, you went 7-9. Week 17, we both went 10-6. Week 18, I went 10-5 and you went 7-8. Well, I forgot to change those. It's actually 8-8 and 11-5.
Oh,
Because there are 16 games that was played. So that brings us to our overall on the season where, man, things are getting spicy. Matt, your total record is, drum roll please, 163-109. I wish I could calculate a win percentage. Maybe Tyler, you could do that. And then for me,
Sorry.
drum roll,
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
168-104. How about that? The turntables, Matt. The turntables.
Wait, we won?
Not yet. Not
Oh god, I have
yet.
59% accuracy. You're probably like 61.
What's our accuracy then for 59%?
61% you guessed games correct. Mine's 59.
Oh my gosh, we're bad.
Yeah.
How about last season? So you went 80-38, and I went 82-36.
Yeah, you had 61%. And last year I had 47%. Yeah.
47. That's
I went
impossible. You should be above 50. You went 80-38. Dude, your math is
I
bad.
know what I'm doing wrong. So there was 108 games?
Yep.
I went 74%, and you're probably like 75.
Probably.
108 divided by 82. 82 divided by 108.
Yep.
82 divided by 108. 75.
Today's episode is sponsored by Prime Glowberry.
No.
Also by Ruffles. Get your crispy Ruffles today. Just kidding. Anyways, yeah, let's just get into our picks right away after that. But we still have the playoffs until we can decide who is the official winner
Yes.
of our picks. Tyler, are you doing picks with us?
Wait, do I have to do my wild card picks?
Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wait,
I guess
we forgot to say Tyler's record because he made picks that 1 week.
Oh yeah. He went 6-9.
9.
He went nice.
Nice. All right, we're good. Carry on.
All right, Brendan. Who's our first game?
Our first game of the wild card is going to be the Texans facing the Browns. I don't know why it's hard for me to say that, but it was.
Where's the home field?
Houston.
It's in Houston.
I'm going with Houston.
I haven't looked at any odds or any stats or anything.
Yeah, why they just came out, so.
But I'm going with the Texans. I'm picking the Texans just because I have them as my bold prediction in the Super Bowl. That's the only reason why I'm picking Houston. Should we do something fun, actually? I could bring out the coin gods for every single one and see how accurate the coin gods are in the playoffs.
Wait, actually, can I say a random fact before we start?
Oh boy.
What?
This guy pulls out a bunch of random facts.
Nearly 30,000 rubber ducks were lost at sea in 1992, and they're still being discovered today. Just wanted to say that.
Okay.
That's random fact of the day.
What the heck? That's like that one time when you pulled out that joke about marrying your sister, or like you can marry your sister if you're from Alabama or something like that.
What?
I can't remember. I don't know.
Cousin or something.
I don't know. It was random.
Anyways, I'm gonna pick the Browns.
Okay.
You're picking the Browns?
Yeah, the Browns are on fire. They're such a dangerous team.
Okay.
It's such a hard pick because the Browns' defense is so terrific, and they ended up dominating the Texans a few weeks ago. But C.J. Stroud wasn't playing in that game. And I think C.J. Stroud is literally what is holding this team together.
Yeah, I'm going with Houston.
I'm going with Cleveland.
I'm sticking with Houston.
I think it's going to be a close game.
All right. Our next game on the docket is the 7 p.m. Peacock game. Are you kidding me? It's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Miami Dolphins in Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Tyrese picks the Chiefs to win this one. I'm going with the Dolphins because the Chiefs are just like not it this year. They're not.
I'm taking the Chiefs in this one because it's at Arrowhead, and I'm not counting out playoff Mahomes and Kelsey and Reed.
Even though the Dolphins have like lost almost every game to a team above 500, maybe they'll turn things around in the playoffs. I think the Dolphins have better roster.
They have receivers.
But we'll see how they perform because this is going to be Tua's first playoff game. So
Yeah.
that's something no one's really talking about. This being Tua's first playoff appearance.
Yeah, they really sucked for that long. Anyways.
It was only like wasn't it only 2 years? This is his third season, isn't it?
I think this is his third year.
I believe so. It's only been 2 years. What do you mean they've sucked for that long?
Well, half his rookie year he was benched. Fitzpatrick was a starter.
It's magic, baby.
All right,
Next
game.
I think we're all going to put the same on the next one. So.
Yeah.
What's this next game?
Simple one. It's going to be the Sunday matchup. The first one between in the AFC. It's going to be the Bills and Steelers. That one being played in Buffalo.
Yep, we're going Bills.
That's self-explanatory.
Yeah. Bills. If the Steelers win, Pittsburgh Steelers take our money.
I don't even think they have T.J. Watt, so that's a big reason.
Yeah. He leads the league in sacks, doesn't he? He's got 17.
Something like that.
Oh, I want the. Okay.
And they got quarterback problems. They got a bunch of problems.
Yeah, they have so many problems.
Our next game is going to be the Packers traveling over to Dallas, the Jerry World, to take on the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Picks for this one.
I'm taking Cowboys with Tyrese.
Matt already.
I already know what. I was about to write Packers out for Tyrese. I didn't think he was going to pick the
Matt
Cowboys.
already decided it's the Packers for me.
Well, I figured you would take the Packers.
I gotta do it. I think this is going to be a lot better of a game than people think. The only reason I'm saying the Packers is Packer fan, diehard baby. Put on the Chiefs head for this one. Wrap it. Tony Gonzalez signature, where you at? Tony Gonzalez signature, where you at? John Kuhn signature, where you at? That one singer from the Packers, where you at? You know what I'm talking about, Matt. No, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
There was another guy, wasn't there? There was that.
There was two guys there, but one of them was a singer.
There were two. I forgot who that guy was.
It's on my Facebook. I gotta look it up, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember. Anyways, the next game that we have is going to be Matthew Stafford traveling back to the good old Detroit to take on the Lions. It's the Rams against the Lions. Prime time. NBC.
At the Lions. At Detroit, yeah.
That's what I said.
Oh, my bad. I think. Wait, I don't want to go first time.
All right, I'm picking the Rams. So I think the Rams are really good. I think they're better than Detroit. And Stafford's going to beat his former team.
Very fair. I guess I'll make my pick while Tyler is still deciphering. This one, I think it's going to be another one of these really great games that we have. This Wildcard Weekend is going to be absolutely insane. But, gosh, Detroit's going to be going nuts. This is their first playoff game in God knows how long.
1960 something? Or 1990?
At home, too. Like, this place is going to be louder than ever. The fans are going to be wilding. I don't think the Rams are going to handle that pressure from those fans. And I think the Lions are going to take this one from the Rams, but it's going to be close.
I'm going with the Lions.
I like the Rams, too, but I got the Lions. And then it's the last matchup. The matchup that probably everyone's looking forward to the least. The Eagles are traveling over to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Monday night.
Monday night.
No, it is Monday night on ESPN. ABC.
I'm going to take the Eagles in this one. I mean, it's the NFC South. I don't have high hopes for the Bucs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going with the Eagles.
I don't know what else you're talking about. AJ Brown is injured, by the way. But he's probably going to be better going into the wildcard game. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm taking the Buccaneers. And this one, Tampa Bay Rocks during the playoffs. Like, the environment there, what I'm talking about. But the Eagles are falling apart. They looked like absolute dog against the Giants. So,
yeah,
I got no concern with Tampa Bay.
No,
the Eagles are going down, and it's going to be great.
All right. I think that concludes an hour and a half long episode.
Oh, we got one more pick to make, Matt.
What's the last pick?
Tomorrow night is the national championship game.
It's the natty. It's the college season, college football. I know who I want.
Who we're all gonna pick. It just seems like it's pretty obvious who we're gonna pick. But do we want to do final scores with this one? Make things a little fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it.
All right. Let's do it. All right. Who wants to start?
I'll start, see if you guys will follow my footsteps. I'm going to pick Michigan in this one. Rooting for the Big Ten as always. I think that's why you were saying. That's why we all have the same thing. I've always been, I'm not a diehard Michigan fan, but I've always liked Michigan for a really long time. It's a team that I don't talk about, but I've always really do like them. But yeah, I mean, they played Alabama. which beat Georgia. Therefore, no, I'm joking. But I think this is going to be a really high-scoring game, so it's going to take Michigan 42-43. 45, 42.
Okay, that's a. I love that prediction. I actually love that. Like, as long as this game's better than last year's.
Oh my gosh.
Last year,
so bad. It was Georgia and TCU.
I didn't even watch that game last year. I was working at a girls' basketball game, and the girls' basketball game was more entertaining than that football game. I literally said that on the broadcast, too. It was hilarious, by the way. But I'm taking the Michigan Wolverines, too. And this one, Big Ten, you got to root for the Big Ten. And this one, it's been a while. The Big Ten has won an Eddie. Ohio State was the last to do it. And that was the first year of the college football playoff. This is going to be a really good game, though. I think that Michigan's going to put 5 touchdowns on the board. They're going to score 41 points. Washington, I think they're going to have 35. 41-35 final score. And the reason I'm picking Michigan, another reason, I guess, but this is the biggest reason, is because since Tom Brady's retired, he has to win championships some other way, so he's winning with his alma mater.
By college.
Yeah, his alma mater. That's a fair reason. Let me tell you.
I'm picking Michigan 38, and Washington's gonna get 1. No.
Oh gosh.
1.
21 or 20?
Huh?
What do you say, 21? 30, 21?
No, 30. I'm gonna say 38, 20, 28.
All right.
I think those are all reasonable picks.
Mm-hmm.
How much is Michigan favored to win by?
I can look that up.
Negative 4.5.
Yeah, so they're favored by 4.5.
Money line, negative 200.
$1, you win $200.
Last thing before we go, did you hear that Dave Portnoy ended up betting $1 million on Michigan to beat Alabama?
Yeah, and then he won it.
Yeah. I wonder if he's doing the same thing for this game.
Probably. He has over $450 million.
Maybe he'll do $10 million this time.
Probably.
Whoa.
Raise those stakes up by another 0. You know,
That's so much money.
He has it.
he's the president of Barstool, man. Like, he's got power. He's not on Epstein's list though, but he's got power.
Yeah. Anyways, I think this is going to wrap it up here on this episode of Dots, Down on the Sidelines. Checking out from home base in Poygan, Wisconsin. Tired boy over here. Your boy, Matt Crowley, a.k.a. Matty Icy.
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about. For me, this is my prime time, guys. But checking out here on the away sideline, here in Stevens Point, is your boy, Brett Stetzoff, a.k.a. 99, Brett's a.k.a. Brentini, Brendan Metzloff, right here. But we also got our special guest who's going to be checking out. I'm pretty sure that he also has work today.
Yeah, I gotta open up the store tomorrow.
Bro, so you get up freaking early.
I can get up at 8.
Oh, God. 7 hours of sleep.
I'm sleeping in, boys, until like 11. And it's going to be the best thing ever.
That's literally
I'm not
me.
going to have any regrets. Tyrese is playing chess in the
No,
park.
don't.
We're going to check out of here, guys.
Yeah.
So, guys, enjoy Wildcard Weekend.
Yes.
We're not good. Perfect. That's enough, Tyrese. Get out of here.
All right.
Anyways,
Love you guys.
we'll see you guys later. Love you,
At the
bud.
divisional round.
Talk to you soon. But we'll talk to all you later. We'll see you guys in the next episode on the Dots Podcast. Peace.
See ya.